Welcome to this episode of the Meinl Radio podcast. I'm your host, Norbert Sämann, and it's an absolute honor to introduce the incredible Amir Bresler to you today. I first met Amir back in 2015, and I've admired his drumming ever since. His list of collaborations reads like a who's who of the global jazz scene. We've just wrapped up an exciting video shoot here in our studio, featuring Amir's latest musical project alongside Vid Jamnik on vibraphone and Haggai Cohen-Milo on bass. In this episode, Amir takes a deep dive into his musical journey and shares his unique approach to drumming, touching on a wide range of fascinating topics. If you ever get the chance to see Amir perform live, don't miss it. The musicality he brings to the drum set is nothing short of extraordinary. I hope you enjoy this inspiring episode as much as I enjoyed recording it. Do you remember the first time that you have fully aware seen someone playing drums, knowing, wow, that's awesome and that's what I want to do for the rest of my life? Do you remember that moment?
I remember some moments like that in the beginning, because when I used to have like a neighbor in my building that used to play drums, and just seeing the drum set and feeling the vibration made me feel like really, I don't know how to explain. And then I didn't really play drums after, but some years after, my father asked me if I want to play drums. And I said, okay. And then I listened to some people I know playing drums and some music I know, and I remember like it hit me so hard that I would just sit and listen to drums all day long, and I knew that I'm gonna do it forever. Like I didn't have any questions about it. Like I just knew that. Yeah, I remember some moments, but actually the first moments were not with the drummers that I like really know right now. It was like some friends of mine, but I remember like really in the beginning I used to listen to Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater. I remember it like it really, I was maybe 11 or 12 years old, so I really liked it.
You mean when you listened to Mike Portnoy you were 11?
Yeah.
And when did you hear your neighbor playing drums?
When I was early, so 7.
Way before.
Yeah, way before. But I remember that something about watching the instrument and feeling the vibration of the instrument was very strong for me. I think it happened in also like a very natural way. So, and I'm still thinking about it when I play or when I'm just thinking about what I do for a living, and I'm like, wow, it's unbelievable that I knew from the beginning that that's what I want to do. Like I didn't have any other thoughts, and I see people around like not every person knows what he wants to do in his life, so that's something that I feel really lucky about.
With drumming, it can be very powerful and very strong, that impact.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
When you're really into that, and you have this moment for the first time, it can be a life-changing moment, even though at a very young age, like in your case. I've heard this many times before.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, also like the first time I played drums, it was in some of a family member's friend. He showed me his drums, and I remember like from the one I played, I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I just loved it, and also I also like the first teacher I had, which was also a neighbor of mine. I had 2 drummer neighbors. So the other neighbor was a teacher, like he was a drummer, but he was teaching only me, like and he told me that to get to be a drummer, to make it happen, I need to practice every day, and like there's no other way than really take it 100%. seriously. So I think it's a combination between like really a big love and a big amount of time investment on the instrument, because I think they are both connected to the whole picture of loving the thing you do.
And you mentioned Mike Portnoy. This is completely different to what you're doing now.
Yeah.
What triggered this? That you become a fan of Dream Theater and Mike Portnoy? Was it what you were hearing at that time?
I didn't, before I started playing drums, I didn't listen to music actively by myself. So that's one of the first tracks that people showed me, that like listen to the drummer here, like, and stuff like that. Like before that, I wasn't like listening to music by myself. So, and something about, how the drums look, and the videos were like produced in a way like that I couldn't stop watching it. So, and also it was before YouTube era. So just having the video felt like a big value, like
a video cassette, like VHS, you mean?
Someone sent it to me, or like gave me like a CD with the video.
Okay.
It was like, oh, I got this video. I couldn't, I'm before the YouTube era, so that was what I had, and I just, and also like there's the X factor that you can't really describe, but it just caught me somehow. I really liked it. But I think I do stuff very like different stuff today, but I still very influenced by the complexity of this music and the time signatures, and it always been like something that I really like. So yeah, I remember specifically the Dance of Eternity. That's the track. I'm like, I think I can play it even today. So yeah.
And you mentioned your first teacher. Did you have more teachers after that?
Yeah, I had more great teachers, but the first one he's like the basic. He taught me how to love drums and how to love my time with my drums, and to practice and to be serious about what I'm doing, because I was his only student. So, and he used to live in the same building. So each question or like everything I had in mind, I could share with him right at the moment, like and we used to spend hours like during the lesson, and he saw me in so many, like, he's like the basic, but the how do you say, like
the fundamentals,
yeah. And then I had really great teachers, like that more about how to play rock and pop and different kind of jazz, like bebop, or more like classical snare drumming. And I had really great teachers. One of the main guys that I really remember, like, is Mark Mushayev, and he taught me all the things that goes with dynamics, like very low dynamics, how to play very soft. And he also taught me the classical snare drumming, so it goes together in a way. So, and I got really hooked by this style, like to know how to play soft.
I can agree, because when I saw you earlier today during soundcheck, what I noticed immediately, like anytime I saw you play, is how quiet you play, how soft you play, but at the same time with a full dynamic. There's a huge expression. And that's not easy.
That's not easy, and it was my main goal for some years. Like my dream was, I told to people, like, my dream is to be the quietest drummer ever. That was my dream.
I think you're on a good way.
I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
I still, I see the greatest drummers like Brian Blade and some of lots of them, but Brian Blade specifically, sometimes I see how extreme he can get with low dynamics. And I think the good thing about dynamics is to know that there's no low, medium, and high volume. In low volume, there's like a new world of dynamic. In low volume, you have like extremely low, you have mid-low, you have everything in there. So you can actually have like start your like you can think that your highest level of dynamic can be in like quite low, and from there you can get even lower. So the quiet dynamic can be strong compared to even quieter dynamics. So it's it's a galaxies of dynamics that I'm trying to see. And actually, I have to say, like, in the other another side of that is that I used to sub a drummer in a rock gig in Israel, a very like heavy rock band, and I really prepared myself very well to this show. And I said, okay, I have to play also like loud and stuff. And there's a song that I really said, okay, now it's the time to play like really loud. And I played loud. And after the show, one of the guys from the band told me, in this song, I think you weren't loud enough, And I was like, oh man, like, okay, shit, I'm sorry. Like, I really tried my best, but I see loud drummers. And for me, that's like also an art to know how to play loud and relaxed. And so anyway, you have to play relaxed, but I think it's another cool art. I also one time I did like an A/B test with a gospel drummer from New York. And I told him, let's play I want you to play the bass drum, and then I want to play the bass drum, And then like he played the bass drum, and it was so loud and clear and wide. And after him, I went on the bass drum, and I felt like I'm nothing. I felt like I'm sorry, like I have no way to explain it, but I couldn't produce the same loudness.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, so if I want to be a loud drummer, like I need to really work on it for a while. But he was really into my quiet and my soft drumming. So it's cool. We looked after each other. So
Mm-hmm.
it was cool.
Who were some of the drummers in your early days that influenced you?
I have a lot, but I was into the jazz drummers like Jim Krupa and Buddy Rich, and then very fast I got into the hard bop drummers, Jimmy Cobb, Philly Joe Jones, so many of them, Roy Haynes, and like a lot of those guys. And some of them, I also like the modern drummers like Brian Blade, as I told you, and Jeff Ballard, and also from other genres. John Bonham is one of like, I feel like he's like one of the most organic rock drummers. If something feels so good about his drumming, so I took a lot from him. Wow, a lot. It's really hard to think right now, but I think there are some like main people, like when I think about Jim Krupa and Buddy Rich, so they are like and Joe Morello, by the way, he's like he's my technique guide in a way, because he's
also when it comes to soft playing
and like speed and dynamics and
time signature stuff.
Actually. It reminds me that there's this Take 5 song, so it's okay. Like I got kind of the drum pattern, but one of the things I did first is to transcribe on guitar the saxophone solo on Take 5. And I didn't know that it's a solo. I thought it's all written. And my father told me, oh, it's cool that you do it. It's improvisation. So for me, it was like also like moment that I remember, that like playing a solo on the guitar on 5/4, not knowing it's actually an improvisation. So I think it's also like influenced me a lot. Since then, I do a lot of transcribing.
So you're also well trained on other instruments.
Not well trained. I can't I'm not professional. I never sent an invoice for playing another instrument. Actually, I did it one time.
Really?
In
which instrument?
On bass.
On bass.
I told a singer that I know and I love him. His name is Shai Tzabari from Israel. I told him I want to one time to play to send you an invoice for another instrument and not on the drums. So I played 2 shows on bass, and I have to say
for a live show.
2 live shows.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was fun,
cool,
and I think it's also like very important if people ask me about about my musical journeys and stuff. So I think one of the main things that really influenced me is playing different instruments and trying to play the piano a bit, trying to play the guitar, bass. I think it really helps. Also, if I play with other drummers and I play like bass or guitar or something like that, I can feel how another instrumentalist feels with the drummer. So I really remember that one time I played in a jam on a bass, and the drummer was like one of the best drummers in Israel that I really like. So I felt the first time how easy and nice it feels to play with a good drummer. So it really influenced my drumming as well, because I always think about it, like how the others feel.
That's interesting, that approach. When playing other instrument, to be able to put yourself in a position of another instrument, thinking about how would I want a drummer to play.
Yeah.
That can be a good lesson.
It's an amazing lesson. It's one of the best.
Yeah.
Because I feel it's... Because what we do, we after all these techniques and influences, like we play music, like we are like kind of... In Hebrew, when you say playing, it's a different word, because you don't say playing, you say like a different word, because playing is like play. You can play with toys, we can play like games, So I feel like after all, we are playing with each other, and it's supposed to be fun. Like I just want to have fun with people, while playing. And I feel that the audience wants to see people having fun playing. It's not only about, I don't know, that's what I feel. So to make fun playing, you need to get professional, and then you can play with the big guys. So I like the word that in English, and probably in different, also in German, like spielen, it's like you can play, it's like playing together. So I want to have fun playing with people. So
you were saying earlier that it took a long time for you to start to actively listen to music.
Yeah.
When you then started to actively listen, was it jazz right away, or was it like a detour, like you were mentioning Dream Theater's music?
Yeah.
Then it led to jazz, or did you get into jazz pretty quickly? Because when you say to play with someone musically, this is most of the time, and like in its strongest way, done in jazz music.
Yeah, but I started with different. I was into punk rock and heavy metal. I liked Metallica and lots of, like my uncle. Yeah, my uncle showed me lots of stuff. I was playing like lots of punk rock covers. That's how I started. But then I went to a high school that was for jazz, high school for jazz. So I said, okay, if it's for jazz, maybe I should listen to jazz.
This was in Tel Aviv, the high school, yes. Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, I really fell in love very quickly with jazz. Also, there's this great website, Drummer World.
Yes.
So it really exposed me to so many great musicians and great music. So yeah, my beginning was not jazz, but when I started playing jazz, I really got into it, and I still play lots of kind of music than jazz, but I think jazz is something. I feel like a good rock and roll is jazz. I don't know. Sometimes I feel there's swing. It's more swing. It's more correct to say it's swinging.
Mm-hmm.
Also, something organic for me is swinging all the time. It doesn't matter if it's like straight eights or triplets. Good music should swing. Because swinging for me is like kind of a natural bounce. I don't know how to exactly say it, but I also really like metal drummers. So the good metal drummers, for me, they have like something that is very human. The most human swinging metal drummers are my favorite.
For example?
I'm not I'm not the best with names. There's a guy that I saw not long ago. I don't know, man. I don't have the names. It's funny, but let me think.
I mean, first of all, there's no doubt that John Bonham, he swung like crazy.
Yeah.
In whatever he did.
Yeah, it's also, if I'm talking about also metal drummers, but like rock drummers, I love, Mitch Mitchell, for example.
Yeah.
He's the like super swinging, and Charlie Watts. Man, all those guys. By the way, I'm just going back to like influential drummers. Like Steve Gadd is my home base. I feel I always come back to Steve Gadd and I'm like, okay, like I feel home. Like his also his dynamic is great.
Yeah.
I also saw him now live, not now. It's already 5 years ago when I was 30. I went to London to see him, and he was playing live in a club called the Pizza Express. And it's a small club, and he played with like a saxophone player and a Hammond player. And he played in a club. I was here. He was just a few meters next to me. For me, it was like one of the best, most influential shows I've seen, because I saw him playing in so many dynamics. And let's put aside the low dynamic. When he played loud, it felt like the most, I don't know how to say it, like the meaning of being loud. Like, because when he played loud, I felt like it's an explosion. It's like I felt like I'm exploding from the inside. It didn't feel like, oh, it's high energy now, cool. Like I felt like, wow, like there's like, there was something so deep.
Yeah, the intensity went up.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Very intense.
So he's really someone that I always go to. Also, when he's playing the snare drum, so soft sometimes. It's just amazing for me. So like he's also swinging, like he's really swinging. And also like the more quantized drummers, like Vinny Colaiuta and stuff like that, he's like super quantized, but he still is so organic. I don't know, like he's like, it feels so modern and organic. That's like the more like the modern drumming that I like.
Ever since you've played on many, many jazz festivals all around the world, as a trio, quartet, anything, what's your preference? What do you prefer most? Like, what's special about being in a trio compared to like quartet, quintett, even? Because today I've seen you with a new trio that you just started.
Yeah.
It's a bass player, vibraphone, and you. And it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
I can see you guys on every jazz fest in the world. But so
we're working on it.
Good. I hope. So how do you preference the various forms of like musical groups?
Yeah, actually, it's a great question. I'm like during the years I'm really into trios. I'm playing mostly trio. When I play jazz, usually it's like a piano trio with contrabass and yeah. So I feel there's lots of space in a trio. Sometimes I feel also as a soft kind of drumming player, I'm like sometimes when there's like horns, like saxophone and trumpet playing together, I feel like, now I feel like I need to play a bit louder. And sometimes I feel like it's not comfortable as playing with piano, with a trio. So I really like playing piano with piano trio. I also like to play in more rhythm groups. Like I have some bands. Liquid Saloon is like more African style, African funk vibe, and I also have another band, the Pifera, that is more electronic, so there's less acoustic style. I have to say, like each band should be like just really, we should just play live a lot, and then you feel home in any kind of it can be trio, it can be quartet, it can be even like septet. I think I just love to play with bands that we have lots of shows. After lots of shows, I feel the real meaning of playing live. Like I'm playing with Omer Klein, the piano player, for 10 years already. So sometimes, I feel so comfortable playing with him. So I don't even, before the show, I don't even think about like what's going to happen. Am I going to deliver or not deliver? I feel comfortable to go on stage in every condition because I'm just feeling home. Also, when I used to play with Avishai Cohen, the bass player, we played so many shows that it was just, I didn't feel that it's like, that's not the work. Being on stage with them was not working. I feel like I got paid for just traveling and not being at home, For me, like playing on stage is just total fun. And we talked about it just before, about being lucky. So first of all, I feel lucky to play live shows. And I feel really lucky that each show I play is just fun. Like, I don't remember myself waiting that the show will end or something. That's not, also in Israel, when I used to play with a great singer, Danny Sanderson, I just loved each song. Each song for me, we played hundreds of shows. Each song was so great, and I think it's great to always like try to get to a point that you play with people that you feel that they are a little better than you, and that you feel that the music makes you have fun. So not finding yourself in a functioning mode. So
that's lucky, yes, as you say. And we were also mentioning earlier, it's lucky also is that there are people who really enjoy listening to it.
Yeah.
Audience playing in front of a great audience.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We can be very lucky.
Yeah, each time I play a show, I'm like, where are these people? All of them came to see us.
I just want to play,
Yeah,
even alone.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just a beautiful connection. It's not like I know these people. I also don't feel comfortable after a show to go to the audience. I feel I'm a bit shy with the people that were in the audience.
Really? Is that true? Yeah.
Yeah, but on stage, I don't feel shy at all. I feel like super comfortable to play the music for them. But then after, I'm like, I feel like I'm shy to go after and like meet them, like I feel that relationship between the stage and the audience is just a miracle, also there are like shows that people come to the show because they know you, and some people come to the show because they know the venue or the promoter and they trust him that it's a good show. So it's also nice to play for people that don't know you at all. Sometimes it's nice to play for people that know you very well. And some shows, you just have no connection with the audience. You have all kinds of shows. So at a certain point, sometimes I feel on stage like, okay, I feel that I'm not at my best. I feel no connection to the audience, but still I'm like, I feel lucky to just be there, So there's a point, I feel like I'm growing up in a way in this matter, like being 35 after playing so many shows. So I kind of don't care, but I care 100%, but I don't take it personally if it's not our 100% show. And it makes me think about this. Sometimes my intention is to be relaxed during the show. That's like my Zen mode, like not to feel like I'm making an effort. So the shows that I could keep this kind of mindset were my best shows. So like, doesn't matter what, I'm not making any effort. So yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but haven't you also played with some symphony orchestras or recorded with them at least?
Yeah, I did it sometimes, and it's very challenging.
It's different,
yeah,
I'm sure, compared to when you play a trio or quartet, like you were mentioning earlier.
It's different because also the dynamics are very important.
Yeah.
You can't play too loud. You can't play the cymbals too loud.
Yeah. Which orchestra was it?
I played with many, but the last one was in Potsdam. It was Bamberg
Symphonica.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
they're from near here. They're very close by Bamberg. Yeah.
Yeah, Bamberg
is not far away from here where we are. Yeah.
Okay. So and it was really great. They were also like great people. They used to play with live bands. So sometimes when I played drums with symphonies orchestras that not used to have drums, I got some, and I play quite soft, but people are like, what is this? Like, this is too loud for us. We can't hear anything. I'm like, whoa, okay. And I don't like to play, I don't know what to call these sticks when it's like many sticks in one stick.
The rods.
Yeah.
Not brushes?
Not brushes.
They're called rods.
Yeah, so I'm not the biggest fan of those because my goal is to play soft by myself and not use the stick to play softly, like. And so
do you remember what type of music you played with them?
We played, actually, I remember last time it was with Omer, so it was jazz music that composed by Omer Klein.
Together with the orchestra.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So sometimes, one challenging part is the dynamics, and the other challenging part is everybody is very fast, and their time feeling can be very weird for like different, because sometimes they are very behind the beat.
Yeah. And
I have to keep going, and it's really not easy in the beginning. In the beginning, it can be a big shock.
Has there been a conductor?
And I look at the conductor, and I'm not very familiar with conduct. Like,
yes.
I don't get.
So you follow his time.
I follow more like like last time they told us, you do your thing and we will follow you, which is the best case.
Yes.
For me, because
yes.
Sometimes I listen to the orchestra and I see the conductor, and I'm not proud of this, but I still don't understand like the conductor and the rhythm and the music together. I'm like, wow, I don't get it. So in some situations that the conductor had to count, it wasn't very easy for me. Like, Also, the orchestra can be very, like, it's less attacky than drums. So it's all like kind of, but the good moments with orchestras, it's like the just unbelievable moments. It feels so exciting and big. So yeah. By the way, it just takes me to another thing is how to use cymbals, when playing, because the cymbals are like, they take so much. If you don't know how to use them, they take a lot of room, and they can they can kind of, it can be choking for the other musicians sometimes. So I see like that the great drummers with good dynamics, they play the cymbals a bit softer than the drums, which is a very cool thing that I start realizing more and more. It's either they don't play everything loud. I'm talking about the jazz acoustic live vibe. So yeah, so I start like understand again the meaning of cymbals and to the space of playing cymbals, and trying also when I see like people who play rock and they have like they play the crash as like instead of open hi-hat they play like crash. So I see that the crash they play is not very loud as their bass drum and snare, and it's a thing that I feel I discovered some years ago, and I tell it to some students and stuff, and it really helps. Like playing the cymbal very soft, or not to play the cymbal, not to play all the notes on the cymbal, like trying to find new spaces with cymbals. That's or like yeah, the duration of cymbals is very important also. So
You mean the sustain?
yeah, the sustain.
How long it rings?
Yeah, because I discover it every time. Like, it's fine to say I discover it, and it's been a while. Like, I'm already 35. It's I want to it's fine to discover it now, but I feel it's also good to discover stuff also when you grow up all the time. You know,
Of
that's
course,
what
you
we have
always
to do.
learn. You know, you never stop learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what makes a good cymbal to you then? Like a ride? I know your ride that you use is a 21-inch transition ride that you use all the time.
I love it.
What is it about that cymbal that you like so much? What's a good cymbal to you?
It's a good. It's hard to explain, but you just have to feel right with the band. It has to inspire the other musicians.
Yeah.
It has to be balanced between like heavy and light. Like, I don't like light cymbals that much. Like when it's too light, and I don't like heavy cymbals. I like something in between.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends on the genre. Actually, this specific transition ride, the 21-inch, is the only ride so far that I use for almost every setup. Like, even it doesn't matter who I'm playing with, I use this cymbal, it doesn't happen a lot. I used to always change cymbals for different setups. And
I noticed when we sound checked earlier,
mm-hmm.
I was putting a different ride there. And then you switched it out.
Yeah.
And you put your transition right back. And then your bass player immediately mentioned, I feel at home now with this cymbal.
Yeah, because
so it's not just about the drummer.
Yeah.
It's also about the other guys in the band, how they feel about your cymbal sound. So that really almost surprised me to hear that bass player saying that now he feels at home again.
Yeah.
With you using that your own 21-inch transition ride.
Yeah, actually, he had the idea to change the cymbal.
Right, it was his idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, because, I'm like very excited to be here and I listen to new cymbals and it sounds really good, But he told me, man, but I like, we used to play with the other cymbals. Maybe let's, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Like,
it makes sense.
Yeah. So I remember he also been there, like when I got this cymbal the first time, I got it for a recording and he was like, I like this cymbal. So it's nice to play cymbals that others like, like it feels good.
Yeah, it brings out the best in them too, musically.
Yeah. You just have,
it makes sense.
As we talked before, you just have to want to have fun, and you want people to just be happy and inspired while playing. And so, and you said what you like about cymbals. I realize more and more that I like, when it comes to crash, I like short. I like them short, to be short somehow. I like when the crash doesn't stay for long. And sometimes I like cymbals that they stay quiet even if you play them loud. And I also like the opposite, like cymbals that are loud even if you play on them like very soft. I like those challenging and inspiring. I don't know how to call it.
Yes, the crash that you are using is a 18-inch sand medium or sand thin crash.
Yeah,
And that's exactly what that is. It has
yeah,
short sustain,
yeah.
so it doesn't get in the way sonically.
Mhm.
And also, at one point, it does not get any louder anymore. So you can play very energetic, but it does not become louder and louder.
Yeah. You know, as a soft player, my problems with myself sometimes were like that I played the cymbals a bit too loud compared to the drums.
Yeah.
So I used to work on it, so as I said, yeah. So that helps me if the cymbals are like shorter.
Like that, yes.
Yeah.
When people think about independence,
Mm-hmm.
often they refer to it only as like being able to play weird time signature or playing independent, like I can play form with my left arm and right with my right arm, things like this. So that's one way of independence. But another important aspect of independence is being able to play at different volumes.
Yeah.
Like play very loud or louder with your snare on your left with your left hand, but at the same time play really quiet with your right arm, with your right hand, not losing the time, not losing the groove. Same goes with your feet, bass drum.
Yeah.
I noticed you feather the bass drum a lot. You play heel down, so that is very soft, but still you have a nice backbeat. So all of this also comes when we talk about independence.
Yeah, I think that's sometimes when I show it to students, they kind of almost give up because that's the most challenging to work on. Because you need to play, also like playing just a bass drum and ride at the same time together is already challenging.
Yes.
Only playing together all limbs is already challenging, but then playing them in different dynamics, I know like it's really hard to feather the bass drum, like playing quarter notes and then playing 2 and 4 with the hi-hat, like a bit louder. That's
incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Incredibly difficult.
And also with the right cymbal, like I like to play, if I play like more grooves or like more powerful stuff, I like to play the ride kind of soft and the bass drum and the snare louder. Then there's a bit more sound. Two drummers I like that do it is like Mark Juliana and Nate Wood.
Yeah.
They are like very controlled with the dynamics between the cymbals and the other stuff. Yeah, so it's really hard to practice it because it's like when you start practicing it, I always felt like, okay, I have a long way now to practice to get it together. So that's how I see if a student is serious or not, if he's practicing this stuff. Because, some people, I'm just, one thing that I'm trying to always observe and try to avoid is looking at the target as is like being too much into the target. Like, let's say if I want to play I don't know, like a groove that with the hi-hat, like 8 notes and like any kind of groove. So my journey is like to practice on it and to see how it develops. But some students they want already to have like they want to have the not solution there, like they want to have it ready to film and to put on Instagram and stuff. I feel like that's a thing that you need lots of patience, to when you practice and when you make music, because it's not about doing something and then make it like complete and then show it to people. It's about long process. Sometimes it's short, but it's I'm into the long term stuff. So if it's like also practicing something and then play it naturally live when you play a show. That's a big subject because you can practice something and then you have a show and you want to play this idea you practiced, but then you play it like kind of too much intentionally, like you too much think, okay, I will play this thing that I worked on, and then it's something not organic all the way. So I feel if you practice for a long time and you develop a concept for a long time, then it's naturally comes, it becomes part of your playing. And so, for example, like we talked about dynamics and stuff. So it took me so long to get to a point that I'm playing the dynamics I want and to put it like to make it part of my playing live. And because when I play live, I don't want to think at all, like no thinking, no. I want to think about life or like, but I don't want to think what I should play.
Do you sometimes switch then from like maple to hickory sticks to help you with dynamics and just volume in general?
You know, I never thought about it because I'm totally not good with this, with the gear. I'm really like, I just needed to, I don't know the sticks that I got today from you. This is like hickory.
Yes.
But it's like light, right?
Yes, light hickory, yes.
Light hickory, so that feels great, you know? So I like light sticks for...
Well, I'm sure it helps with dynamics, especially at low volumes.
Yeah.
It helps.
And also sticks helps with loud volumes. So
yeah.
Sometimes I'm like playing with some others, like friends' sticks, and it's like heavy and I have to play loud. I'm like, okay. It's easy now.
Have you tried our nano sticks?
No.
No?
I have to try it.
Yeah, we'll get a pair then.
Yeah, that's...
Okay. Now, other thing, you were mentioning your students. You are still teaching?
I'm teaching a bit less. I moved to Berlin a year and a half ago, and I teach a bit less because I don't have time and I don't know enough people. So anyway, I don't teach much right now. I'm more like doing some workshops or like online teaching or like stuff like that. And yeah, but in Israel, I used to teach a lot, like not a lot. It's not like something that I did every week or something. Like I was picking some special students that are really like, I couldn't teach someone that is not serious. So, and I did it. And when there's a serious student, I enjoy it like so much, like I can do it forever. And if the student is not very good, I just hate it, you know, because there's no point.
No, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yeah, exactly. Like
that's how it works.
Sometimes a student can come and he didn't prepare, and I'm like, why are you here? Like, is there a reason that you came? You know, so yeah. But I really like teaching.
So you still accept new students? Like if someone decides wants to have lessons with you, they can do it. Yeah,
definitely.
And do you still practice on your own?
Yeah,
every day.
It's not every day. I practice the piano almost every day now.
Oh, nice.
I'm into transcribing classical compositions like Bach or Beethoven. Now the last one was Beethoven. It's like very challenging. So I want to work on my ear training. You know.
You mean you transcribe? You mean you play it on the piano?
I play it on the piano. I just listen. No, there's no music
by ear.
By ear.
Oh, okay. That is difficult.
Yeah, so my goal is to do like I put like a timer on the side. Sometimes I do it also with drums. I put timer on the side and I say that, let's say half an hour, and in this half an hour I do nothing else but practicing, and then I don't use my phone. I don't do anything, and then it's like if I do half an hour every day, it's much better than doing like 3 hours once a week or even 7 hours once a week. So I do it also with the drums. Sometimes I put a timer and say, okay, next 30 minutes I'm practicing this thing. or like I also like to do like extreme practicing, like to do the same thing for a long time, to be like in a kind of meditating vibe. And then like if I do, I play like a swing beat on the cymbal for 20 minutes, or something like that, the same. And then you find yourself like doing something that is more than practicing technically on something. You feel like you are becoming part of the music. I don't know, it's hard to explain and describe, but it's like sometimes I think about what I do, sometimes I practice and I'm already in different thoughts. And sometimes I feel that my best moments when I practice is when I'm not really there, when I'm in another place in my mind and my body is just doing his job as an instrument.
It's muscle memory then.
Yeah, muscle memory is a crazy thing.
Yes, it's a
Sometimes while playing a show, I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe it, So, or I can't believe that I remember how to do it,
even after a long time.
Yeah.
It's there all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's really, and with the piano, sometimes it's really sad if I don't practice for like a specific piece for more than a month or two. And then I don't remember, then I'm like really like, it makes me sad that I kind of neglected this thing. And so yeah, I'm into sometimes extreme practicing. I don't practice every day now because it's really hard for me. And I still don't have a studio in Berlin. I'm a father now. And but I'm always like I'm always into music. Like I'm always always feel like I'm part of the music community and the music life.
Yeah.
So it's really important.
Yeah. Is there anything outside of music that inspires you? Any other art form or just in general?
Every art which touches me, it's always a big influence. I love nature. I love like traveling to places, and sometimes when I travel to places, I'm like, I just want to have the images of what I see. I want to have it with me. Like I feel always like I have to take something with me from these situations, because there's something so organic in nature. I feel like good music is like, on good art is art that is like really close to nature. Like that it's anyway nature because people do it and we're part of nature. But there's something about the communication in art that, I don't know. Like I like traveling. I really like hanging out with people. I love people. I love taking, like talking with people about music or about, and like other, even I like to talk nonsense with people. It's also art for me, because there's also, I'm really into underground art or like very niche music. I like rare albums from Africa or from Eastern Europe or from Asia, or I'm into this kind of niche music. So, and I got back to music very fast, but I'm really into music.
At the end
of
the day, yes.
It's hard to escape it. I don't do anything else but music. If like now I will have to stop making music, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like it's a real problem. And I'm not very good in other stuff, like in math and like,
No, I mean, as long as there are people who are interested in listening to music, and I think we're going to be very lucky, because whether it is jazz or wherever jazz is going to go musically, there will always be room for musicians like you to express themselves on their instrument. Because like you said, you're 35, but there is so much new things to learn that we even don't know about yet, what's about to come. So
yeah, that's the beautiful thing.
That's a beautiful thing. So it's not going to get boring, and we will always be lucky, I think.
Yeah, also,
to be able to express ourselves musically.
Yeah, also any art, like I feel like it's kind of it's really hard to describe and explain what I feel, but you have the world, and now very these days is not easy times, but when you see art these days, and it feels like just a big luck for humanity, like I go to see a show, and in the news it's like the worst news ever, like let's not even start with it. But then I see people sing or paint or sit and drink, and I'm like, wow, we are so lucky that we have this. That's like, I feel like it's important. It's as important as food and air and water. Like it's this position, to be in this position that you can hang out, have fun, you can laugh, you can
it brings people together.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And with technology today, it's even easier.
What do you mean?
I mean, you can listen and learn from cultures from all over the world that up until maybe 20 years ago, you wouldn't have an idea that those even exist.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So with that, what I mean, with technology, it's even easier to appreciate all that art and music that's out there.
Sometimes it's even too much because of technology. Technology has these two sides. Yeah. Sometimes I'm on YouTube and there's this interesting thing and another interesting, and then I'm like, wow, what should I do? So I try to be very focused. Like if I see a video of a show, I try to see it from the beginning to the end. Yeah. Because I feel like I'm not doing the most true thing if I'm like going to another video now. Yeah. Like I want to see it from the beginning to the end. There's another but you're right. I can see, I discovered so many things with the technology. Wow. That's why I love YouTube. YouTube is for me like the most organic platform of music, because you see everything there. And I was into like Iranian music, like Persian music. So, and you see, and you can start with writing down Persian music if you don't know anything, and then you click a video, and then you have like the suggestions. And if you go to the suggestions world, you can find yourself in some videos with like 20 views from a wedding in somewhere in Iran, and you're like, wow. And then I'm like, that really makes me feel so excited. And I just saw with my friend Chagai, we were in a hotel room and we were like in YouTube, and then we saw some Bulgarian weddings and stuff, and it's like a video on YouTube, 9 hours video, and you see like the band playing 9 hours, and the drummers are like just unbelievable. Yeah. And it's that's
a beautiful thing. Yeah. But like I said, there's good and bad, because there's also, I mean, it can be misused too. Like you said, it's easy to swipe it away after 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's so.
But then you don't do it justice. Someone put it a lot of work, and then you swipe it away after 3 seconds. Yeah, it's not what is.
Also, I feel it's not easy to be a student these days if you want to use YouTube, because now, like I started playing the oud some time ago, and I had my friend like teaching me a little bit, and then I said, okay, let's learn from YouTube. And I saw that I'm just lost between many teachers and I'm like, wow, what people do today. Like, it's really frustrating and confusing.
Yeah. You have to know how to use it.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have those videos with the thumbnails that shows the best way to play this and that. I'm like, oh my God, no. I can't.
Let's not get into this.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I stop getting into this. But it's still, I like seeing like tuning, how to tune drums. Tuning drums for me was always like a mystery, because I feel there's still not enough information about how to tune drums. I feel like the best tips I got only from people and from playing on people's setup. For example, yesterday, it was today, we came here and I wanted to tune the bass drum. So I tuned it because in a way that Jeff Ballard tuned the bass drum, because I played day after him in a club. And I was recording his drums, so I know how he tunes them. And so that's, the best lesson ever, to just play on someone's drums and to check how he did it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, tuning isn't easy. There is a big mystery.
Yeah.
To many people still.
Yeah, I have some formulas, but yeah, like if I'm really into how to tune bass drums, and there's not enough information on YouTube for that.
No.
I have to say.
So you should put it out.
Yeah.
Why not?
Maybe I should try something. I'm really bad with talking to the camera. I see people do it now, and it's amazing that they do it. I just can't do it. It's really hard for me. But maybe I need to do it with some subtitles. I won't say anything, and I just show some subtitles. But anyway, yeah.
Now, last thing, your new project.
Yeah.
That you're here with. How did this all happen? Tell us about it.
So yeah, anyway, like I had some projects in Israel. Now it's really hard to make them happen because many reasons. And now I'm in Berlin and I have some time, I have free time and stuff. So, I had many ideas and stuff, but then you sent me a message that you want to have a new video shoot. So I said, okay, I need a video shoot. I need some music for that. And so I said, okay, let's write some music. And it's the first time that I'm actually composing music specifically to a group, because I used to compose and to produce, but to straight, like recording straight, like I was recording all these instruments, and then, but now I was like composing for a group, especially for this video shoot. And I met Vid Yamnik. He's a great vibraphone player. I met him in Berlin, and I really felt really big, like great connection with him. And Chagai Cohen Milo is the bass player, and he's really great musician and very good friend of mine for a long time. And I wanted to have this trio thing. First of all, because it's fun to play trio, as I told you before, and also it's easier to travel. Like it's not easy to travel with like quintett these days. And I just want to have my music. It's just it's a different feeling. Like going on stage with your music is just another feeling, and it's and I really like to be a little scared before new stuff. So before this thing, I think we talked about it like almost half a year ago, something like that.
I think even longer ago.
Even longer ago,
yeah.
In the moment I saw the message, I'm like, oh shit, like that's some challenging stuff, because last time was the same. Like I had to compose music especially for this project, but I composed it for a playback, not for a live band.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing journey for me, for like 4 months of work, of practicing and work. And we just talked about it before, like having a deadline. And when I have a deadline, that's when I really work hard. That's my best, the best for me. So now also to make it a deadline, I also booked some gigs already on May, which is long time. But I said you need a deadline to make things happen and to prepare. I like to prepare. Maybe I'm old school now, like prepare, like for a long time to look like I like this vibe. So
I don't think it's old school.
Maybe it's not old school.
It's not old school.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like
it should be normal.
Yeah, because usually I don't prepare stuff that I play for like months before. Even if I get like a very specific gig with difficult music, I take maximum like a month, and then every day I'm dealing with the music and with the, but like taking few months, I was like going and I did like composing sessions with myself, like having some time, and that's the new project with Vid and Chagai, and it's my music, and that's I really believe it's gonna be fun and nice, and
I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah,
excited to hear it.
It's nice to make another fun situation for myself and for others. You know? And I'm really glad to be here, man.
Well, I'm glad you are here.
Big respect. Like, I'm just respect you and all these things so much, and the fact that it makes me work hard. That's what the people I respect the most. People that make me work hard. That's that's what I like.
Thank you. This was a little over an hour.
Oh, wow.
So I think that's the perfect time.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks.